Everyone seems to have this wrong idea of what communism entails. Everyone seems to think that communism is where the state owns the means of production and pretty much everything, and that's not how it works. That's state socialism. While indeed many communists, including myself, believe that a state is necessary to transition into communism, and that many just stop at state socialism, and then you end up with usually hyper-nationalism, that is not the end goal of communism, nor is it what defines communism in and of itself. Communism is the cooperation of all individuals owning the means of production. In other words, no company would exist without the consent and without the opinions of everybody involved. The same way that a company now is mandated by a board of directors, it would be just the same under communism, only every single entity would be involved. Every single worker would be involved. You would have just as much say if you were a janitor, or if you were cleaning toilets, or if you were serving food, as much as the board of directors. Everybody would be the board of directors. And it's precisely for that reason it should be like that, because you're the ones actually working. You're right there in the middle of the heat, taking all the flack, dealing with the customers and things like that. You know what's actually going down. You know what's actually happening. You know what needs improvement, things like that. If companies bother to actually let the workers handle it and let the workers dictate what the next course of action should be, what needs improvement, things like that, we would probably have more production, more growth, more just everything. It would benefit everybody because the workers know what's going on. The workers are there to see the problems and what's working and what's not working. So it would only make sense to give them the keys to the car and to progress forward. Now, the only argument you can make for not allowing the workers to control the means of production is that somehow you don't trust the workers, that somehow people are too stupid. But then, it wouldn't matter anyway because the smart people would still be in just as much control. And like it or not, smart people are always going to find a way around stupid people. As well, it just comes down to the fact that you think one day you're going to be the bourgeoisie, or that you worship the bourgeoisie as they are today, and that you want that class struggle. You want this class hierarchy where, you're at the bottom and some other people are at the top, and you want it that way because you think one day you're going to be at the top, or at least in the middle class, and then you get to look down upon the peons and peasants. And it doesn't work that way. You might go your whole life just being a serf. And why take that risk? Why live that way? Why, when you can have so much more? There is nothing to lose from communism. The only thing you have to lose is the shackles on you. That's it. You only have to gain. You only have to gain more control of the means of production. You only have to gain more control over your own individual life. And there's no one to tell you otherwise. There is no one to dictate for you. And it reminds me of the internet because, I wasn't going to admit to this until a few weeks down the line when maybe I got some contact back from it. But I recently discovered the internet service providers of several big forums. Now, mind you, I say several because not all of them I could report to their internet service providers. Facebook and MySpace come to mind because they own their own internet service provider. They are their own ISP, which is pretty disturbing in and of itself that they are that big. But many forums don't own their own internet service. And because of that, since they think that they can ban me from their forum, I figure, well, there's always a bigger fish. So I go to their internet service provider, tell them about the shit they're doing, and maybe they will cut them off, and then they won't have a fucking forum. Now, mind you, it might not work out that way. They might ignore what I'm saying or something like that, but it's worth a try. Some of these forums are bound to get shut down because of that. And because of that, that is the problem of capitalism. You never really own anything anyway. You think you own your forum just because you can fucking ban Jim Profit, but in reality, you only have the privilege to ban Jim Profit. It's actually your internet service provider that's allowing you to exist in this state of being, and then you get to be a little dictator and play around and bully people until eventually, your contract ends and then you're up shitville. So what do you gain out of ownership? It's just one person screwing over another person, screwing over another person. You're screwing over me, they're screwing over you, they're screwing over each other because, you know, they gotta make wheeling and dealing and things like that, and that's no way to live. But you're never gonna learn because you're fucking evil. You like the evil. You like this class hierarchy. You like this class warfare. And I'm not gonna try to reason with you or any of that thing. I'm just gonna fucking, you know, go to your internet service provider, get your form shut down, and then you have to deal with it the same way I have to deal with it, being isolated and not even being able to browse the fucking internet the way we should be able to. So fuck you, Rich Bueller, because that's another thing. I don't know many of the real names of moderators, which is funny because a lot of ISPs say that if you're going to own a website, then you have to give your real name. You cannot mask your name. You cannot be under some kind of alias, use somebody else's name or something like that. You have to use your real identity because it's shady business to do otherwise. And yet that's what every one of these guys do. That's what Moot does from 4chan, and I made sure to point that out to his internet service provider. You know, so the only one that I can think of whose name I actually know is Rich Bueller. I don't know where exactly he lives or anything of that sort. If I did, I would contact his job. I would contact the people around him. I would make sure that he could never fucking live his life ever again in the same way. The same way he was obsessed with doing that to me. He was perfectly fine with spreading rumors about me and getting me banned from places completely unrelated to him, just the way his Facebook does when I try to post on a news article but can't because it's through Facebook. The same way I try to post on another Chan board but can't because even though every Chan board is different apparently, oh, it's a different culture, oh, it's so, but meanwhile, since I'm banned from 4chan, everyone just presumes, oh, Jim Profit auto-ban, even though it's not fucking 4chan. It's bullshit. You just want an excuse to bully people. So you want to bully me? I'm going to bully you back. And now you're never going to be able to get a fucking job again. If I find out your real information, I'm going to spread it like the goddamn plague, and you're going to have to struggle for the rest of your goddamn life the same way I do. Fuck you, fuck your mother, fuck your family, fuck everybody you ever knew or ever laid eyes upon. I'm going to ruin your goddamn life. And that's the way it's gotta be. That's the way you have to act around these people. Because they're not gonna learn. They're just sadistic assholes, they're sociopaths, and they want to hurt you. So, you know, like I said, if I knew more about Rich Bueller, I would post his information down below. I think he lives in California. I'm not sure about that one. But I guess that's it. I have nothing really more to say here other than you cannot fight this moderator battle with mittens on. You cannot fight this battle thinking it's so simple as just assholes banning you. That's what people don't understand about me. They think I'm just butt mad because I get banned. No, I look at the issue much deeper than that. I look much more in depth than just, oh, I got banned and I'm upset. No, it's the principle of people shouldn't be getting banned. It's the principle that people, you know, shouldn't be able to treat other people that way. You know, we should just be able to browse and do what we want to do and say what we gotta say uninfringed upon. And the fact is, you don't own shit anyway. So stop living in this fantasy world that you do and that you're somehow unaccountable for your actions. And, you know, one day, hopefully, we can be communists, and then we can all co-own the means of production and actually improve things. That way I have just as much say as somebody else does, and I can tell you what needs and doesn't need work, and then you can speculate back to me, and we can go back and forth with it, and maybe we can make some goddamn progress. That's it. That's how the world should work. We should just improve our standard of living. But nobody wants to understand that. Everyone wants to just ignore that fact and just continue to be like, well, Jim Profit's a troll. I want to ban him because I'm a sadistic asshole serial killer, so I'm going to stab, stab, stab. No. Why do you choose to live in a world like that? Why? You don't want me to call you evil and shit, but then you do these things, which is another thing. TV Tropes reported you to your ISP provider too, because you were like, we don't call people evil on this forum. No real life examples of tropes on evil. We don't call, no, you don't call people evil, you just fucking ban them and degrade them and humiliate them and talk behind their back and say mean shit about them. Oh, that's so much better than just using the word evil. Fuck off and die, you pieces of shit. You pieces of gay weeboo shit. I just can't stand people like that. I wish to God I could just come across one of them in real life and just punch them and never stop. Because how can you live your life like that? How can you live your life being so wretched and despicable? How did somebody else not pull a gun out on you yet? It just doesn't make sense to me. I just do not see how they can live day to day like that. And just, you know, how do you function? Literally, how do you function in day-to-day society? So, I guess that's all I have to say for now. See you later.